Is the bubble about to burst in China for skyscrapers? Is there an oversupply of office, oversupply of residential? Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, are they all the same? Is there an economic problem, and are a lot of these projects going to encounter difficulties in the very near future?
First of all, I do not have data of other, particularly on the financial side of other projects. In our case, we actually built this tall building mainly for self-use because, as I said in the presentation, we have a demand, very quick demand of office space for Ping An's operation. And as well, we have well prepared for the financial aspect to build the building. But I believe, apart from the economic, there will be an aspect of the building actually is representing the culture and the economic healthness of the city. So you can see the first tier city would like to have super tall building in the city as well as the second tier city. That can help upgrading, I would say, upgrading the image of the city to international standard. So there may be another consideration. So the investment will not be a very short-term arrangement. There will be a sort of quite a fixed access investment model rather than we build it just for getting economic return. I don't know whether that can answer your question.
Thank you, Thomas. Mr. Gu, I wonder whether we can draw you on that question about the economics of some of these skyscrapers that are being built in cities across China.
All right. For super tall and skyscrapers, first, I would like to say we cannot jump into a simple conclusion whether there is an excessive supply or not. Actually, China is a big country, so we may have different development patterns across different regions of this country. Therefore, cities like Shanghai, Beijing, provinces like Guangdong, and cities like Shenzhen, those are actually tier 1 cities where economic growth is really very, very robust, and economic GDP size is continuously on the rise. For those tier 1 cities, I think that it is advisable to develop the super tall to a certain extent, which is in line with the actual needs of the GDP growth of those tier 1 cities. But when it comes to tier 2 cities, yes, we have some, faster growing tier 2 cities as well. In these cities, yeah, it is also advisable to do so. But for lower tiered cities, namely tier 3 and tier 4 cities, I think they should really use precaution and they should not rush to these kind of undertakings. For mega tall buildings, we're not supposed to only look at the financial readiness and whether you're ready to make this investment to build it. Another issue we also need to consider, once it is up and running, are you able to attract adequate number of tenants and the high level of operational cost? I think these are also the issues both investors and property owners have to consider very seriously. Because now everybody is trying to see whether this kind of a building is going to be completed construction. Actually, as long as you have money, that's going to happen. But it doesn't mean you're able to keep it sustainable down the road. This is my view.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gu. Actually, I'd like to, Mr. Shendong, that same question. I know we had a problem with the headset there, but what is your take, Mr. Dong, on the financial equation of tall buildings in China and the question of whether there's potentially an oversupply and whether the bubble is about to burst?
All right. So this is a question that is related to macroeconomics. It is also closely related to the regional economic growth of this country. Actually, for skyscrapers, I gather that while I'm discussing this issue with my colleagues, I think it is like a luxury, both in terms of a construction itself and also the latter stage operation and the tenants it is aiming at. This is a premium product with luxury feature. So how can we support it? The city, whether it is able to support the continuous operation of this kind of a skyscraper, this is a very important issue developers have to consider.
Well, for this bubble, well, yeah, it depends on the macro economy and also the regional economy as well. It depends. Well, in the long perspective, well, in China, yeah, the overall macroeconomic and development trend, yeah, is still going well in Tier 1 cities. So for some Tier 1 cities, I think that some cities are still capable of building these super tall buildings, as mentioned by Mr. Gu. But in Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities, they should be very careful and prudent. Well, for the super tall buildings, well, it still depends. There are a lot of complicated issues. Well, overall speaking, in Tier 1 cities, I still believe that relatively it is less risky. So I have a question for Mr. Shen Dong. Well, because for Zhongnan Center, inside the Zhongnan Center, I'm very interested to see that there are a lot of residential areas and up to 100th floor. Well, I have 3 questions actually. For this residential area in your center, so in the future, are you going to use it for leasing or for sales? Do you have any technical challenges for this residential area? And in the future, do you think that you are going to convert it for other usage? Because for many super tall buildings, maybe it will be used as a luxurious hotel. It can also be used as a hotel serviced apartment. And so what are the challenges for these kind of residential areas in your building? So can you also give us some estimation of the budget and the cost? Well, actually, when we get this building and when we make the commercial feasibility studies, we have made a lot of researches. Well, you have already noted that for this super tall buildings, it is quite different from other super tall buildings. Yeah, because it is mainly used for residential areas, for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and for the observation. So actually, we have around 150,000 square meters. 150,000 square meters for the residential areas. For the office area, originally we have made around 150,000 square meters. Now there are only 50,000 square meters for the office area, and we will also arrange some shopping malls. So because what we are thinking about the vertical transportation, because you know that for the offices, you know that the 10 to 7 square meters per person, and for the residential areas, maybe per capita area will be 25 square meters. So it means that for the residential areas, the vertical transportation stress can be lessened. So our commercial position is that it is mainly for residential area. So we have taken into consideration a lot of issues. And also for the super tall buildings, if it is used for the residents, of course, there are a lot of challenges. First of all is the ventilation. For example, the air conditioning system. Well, in this super tall buildings, and for the ventilation and air conditioning systems, and we have made some breakthrough. For example, we have the steaming for the heating, and we haven't used the VIV system. We believe that our state-of-the-art technologies can be very effective for the green environment. In addition, for the residential areas, it is also subdivided into different areas. For example, the service apartment and also the residential area, the residential area, so with 70 years of the ownership, and also the service apartment for 40 years ownership. And we have also invited a JLL to help us with the evaluation. So currently, our target buyers are mainly individual investors. I don't think they are going to live in this building for long. yeah, we believe that it is mainly targeted as the highly wealthy people. Yeah, this can also become as an icon for them. We are also targeting some investors and buyers from Southeast Asia countries. According to our researchers, we are still very confident about our future sales. Regarding the cost of this construction, well, you know that we will also arrange the decoration. Well, you know that it is also quite customized, according to the demand by our buyers. But overall speaking, for the vertical transportation and also mechanical engineering design, and of course the energy consumption, will be lower than that in the office building. And we also believe that the quality can also improve, but the cost still depends.
Were your buildings designed for the worst wind speed? Because the worst typhoon in the Philippines, November last year, was 320 kilometers per hour with a gustiness of 350 kilometers per hour. And our building code required only 220 kilometers per hour. And China is also belongs to the Pacific Ring of Fire, which include Chile, Japan, China, and the Philippines. Were they designed for the worst case scenario in earthquake, wind speed, wind and water, tsunamis, and storm surges? And if not, are you willing to retrofit, or are they covered by disaster insurance? Thank you.
I've done another tall building raised in Hong Kong. Okay, I have experience on height is always the issue. Sometimes we need to compromise architectural design, M&E design, to give more consideration on the structural design aspect. In our case, we actually have very thorough study on the structural aspect of the design of the building. We have gone through all kind of analysis, like wind tunnel analysis, shaking table, all kind of national and international code practice regarding structural design. So we come up with a very, what I call very robust structural form. So you can see in Ping An's building, we have a very solid concrete core with the base enforced by steel plate structure rather than just reinforcement concrete. We also have a very strong outer frame, which also takes cross bracing all along the height. Together with the outrigger, I believe all these kind of structural elements will give you more confidence, feeling, against adverse weather, earthquake. We test the shaking table and we test the earthquake effect, and we are quite satisfied. All the figure and all the test results give us very good confidence on, the building very safe, even in a worse weather condition. So that is our situation.
Yeah, actually, well, I think my answer can be divided into the following dimensions. For Shanghai Tower, so we have hired a very well-renowned TT from US to help us with the structural design. TT firm is a very well-seasoned design firm for the super tall buildings. Yeah, we know that after 9/11, and the US authorities have also made a further analysis on the collapse of the buildings. And the research findings were also forwarded to this design firm. I believe that this design firm has a very rich experience in the safety, in the structural design. Besides, we have also taken into consideration the historical disasters in the Shanghai history, including earthquake and wind. And the worst scenarios have also been collected from the history. On top of that, we have added something more to protect it. And thirdly, And also, yeah, based on all those disasters, yeah, we have also made some special design. For instance, yeah, for the curtain wall. So actually, this is for the wind pressure. We have actually three high buildings. You know that the wind will be different from the normal one. Yeah, actually, it means that actually they are not pushing, they are pulling out. Yeah, due to these special conditions with these three buildings, especially at the corners of the buildings. And we will also see this swirl and turbulence. And also for the earthquake, yeah, of course, Shanghai is not located on top of the source of earthquake. Well, actually, in the earthquake, during the earthquake test, we have to take into consideration the earthquake waves. Yeah, because actually during the Wenchuan earthquake, yeah, Shanghai super buildings were also shaking. It was caused by the earthquake waves. So that's why, yeah, on top of the regular test, yeah, we have also added another resistance against the earthquake wave, in addition to the resistance against earthquake. So for all those scenarios we can imagine, we have already made the design, unless there's really some unexpected, beyond our imagination. Yeah, anything imaginable is already taken into consideration.
Carry on, these three high-rise buildings have an impact to the office space supply to the city, and it becomes a landmark to each city. And we are all concerned about the economic impact of this project. Is there any cooperation and support from the local municipality or from the government to support the developers to build this project in order to drive the economic growth of the local municipality, rather than just exposing the developers themselves to spend so much investment to build this tower? Because all this tower will be part of the growth of the sustainable urbanization and urban cities. So can you share, is that your insight into the collaboration between developers and local municipal government?
Well, first of all, for the super tall buildings, actually, the master planning is dominated by the local authorities and the government, because it will be verified by the local authorities. Well, in Suzhou City, for this super tall building, of course, in terms of master planning, we have been supported by local authorities. When we get this piece of land, so actually, the expansion have also been verified and supported by the local authorities. Thirdly, in terms of the policy, we have also get some supporting policies. Because in terms of the land price and also the business promotion, and also there will be some incentive policies. And also we have been granted more licenses and favorable policies. So I think in this regard, I believe that is a win-win for both the developers and local authorities. Thank you. So actually for Shanghai Tower, well, this project planning can be dated back to 1993. At that time, Shanghai authorities have a Pudong planning center. According to the Pudong planning in 1993, in this area there will be 3 super tall buildings: Jingmao, the Shanghai Financial Center, and the Shanghai Tower. So it means that every 10 years, the one super tall building will be built. I think it has already planned many years ago. It is not because all the other cities are building the super tall building. This is not a tentative planning, or this is not a sudden planning. When you take a look at the master planning in 1993, you can already see 3 tall building planning were already being established. And as you all know, that actually in Shanghai, in this Lujiazui financial area, currently, in terms of the office vacancy. According to the latest statistics, yeah, it is still less than 3%. In this area, in this financial area in Lujiazui, yeah, the office vacancy is less than 3%. So we can say that in Shanghai, particularly in this Lujiazui financial area, and also thanks to the Shanghai Free Trade Zone, and also the BRICS headquarters will also be located in Pudong district, and also Disneyland in Shanghai will also be open. You know, thanks to the economic growth in Shanghai, and the economic size will continue to grow. So I think in the city like Shanghai, yeah, I think some super tall buildings, if we can add more high quality, high profile office areas, I think it is still reasonable.